Okay, let's see if this works or not. Okay, that works. Okay, we're gonna do... Okay, random topic, obviously, with a punch. No, that was just being like, oh, you could probably get, like, away with crimes if you were invisible. And, like, with Purge, I was like, you would just steal, like, the usual, you'd be like, oh, you wouldn't kill people, you would just, like, so you were like, oh, I legally, like, signed up for, like, health insurance, and I was like, you could do that, and then you could also do, you would also just, my DNA was like, if the Purge is real, then you could just steal, like, a bunch of houses and cars. I was like, not a lot, but a few. It's like more than one. You just don't pick out your dream home and your dream car. I was like, no, you gotta pick out, like, 2 of them so you can make money, so you can sell the extra ones. Okay, that was my deal. And then for invisibility, I was like, for the most part, you would just have to steal, like, people's credit cards and things, and I was like, that's the only way you would be able to steal anything in stores. I was like, there's cameras everywhere, you're gonna get caught, so stealing's not worth it. Shopping's not worth it either, everything costs no more than an arm and leg. Okay, so that should be everything for that topic. Okay, so then we're gonna talk about Hunger Games. Okay, so, I know I didn't watch the whole thing, I mostly just watched because I was like, oh, dragon! Don't care about it, I was like, cool, I was like, we freedom from slavery. We'll watch this. And, like, I didn't use, like, I don't think it's even on YouTube, well, it's not officially on YouTube either. Okay, let me see, I'm pretty sure it's, like, on Hulu and, like, other streaming services, but I don't think it's on Netflix, and definitely didn't see it when I was watching, when I had Netflix either, so, yeah, no. We haven't actually seen the actual series, and, also I was like, yeah, I was like, there's gonna be a lot of, like, negative triggering things. I was like, it's not great. Like, dragons and fighting and violence is cool, but you want to cut out all the other BS crap that you would have to watch if you cared about the plot. And I was like, I'm not that ambitious. Plus, I was like, it's going to be long, and I don't care. And I was like, I did not want to watch, what is it? No, I saw The Hobbit, and then, what is it? Lord of the Rings. I watched all of those, and not in one sitting, multiple sittings. Years later, saw my brother, saw some of it, but, like, I never bothered to watch it again. I was like, it's too long, it takes way too much time, and just not worth it to me. Oh, this is cute, Song Savage. Okay. Ooh, what do you buy? A-S... No, not S. C-E. It's Ace, but there are 2 dots in between. Okay, some K-pop group. Okay, whatever. Okay, so then, okay, Hunger Games, so... Yeah, I don't know that much about it, and I had to rewatch from the clips, but I'm gonna offend the queen. And, like, at the end, I was like, they were all like, she was a tyrant. Because their argument was like, she saved us from a tyrant, but she also became a tyrant, and I was like, really? And their whole reason, they're like, but she didn't agree to the terms and everything about when they ring the bell. And the first time I saw the clips and everything like that, I was like, what bell? I was like, the towers were destroyed. Like, there was no bell to ring. I didn't hear any ring bells, so I was like, what are they talking about? How did she betray them? How did she lie? How did she become a tyrant? And didn't understand. Then we watched it and found the clip, and we were like, oh, okay. So they did ring the bell, and they did stop, and all the soldiers did drop their weapons, and they did surrender. But then they saw their queen fly by on a dragon, burning everything, so they're like, and the war continues! So they just stabbed them. I was really hoping, I was like, that's bad. No matter what I say, defend that. I can't really defend that. But, like, yeah. I kind of wish they had, like, a game plan. I wish she would be like, I wish they would have been like, and, like, Jon Snow was like, oh, trying to stop it when they're, like, starting to kill them, and he's like, hey, no, we shouldn't be doing this. They surrendered, we agreed. They're like, we're still fighting, so we fight. And he's trying to hold them back, it's not working. Yeah, but I was like, no, you should have seen, like, they should have talked before. I was like, you know, I don't blame her for destroying and trying to kill everyone. I was not happy about the soldiers that surrendered. I was like, those could have been your soldiers. I was like, you should have just told them, like, hey, like, we're gonna capture them alive if they surrender. like, have that arrangement beforehand. Because, like, that way they all evacuated together, because I was like, that's dangerous. She's gone wild. She's gone mad, because everyone is dead, and you killed another one of her dragons, so she's fucking pissed, and she's gonna take you all out. And I was like, she should have probably just aimed for the entire capital, and she kind of took everyone out with her. I was like, I think she should have focused her anger on the capital. I was like, I don't blame you, but you could have done better. Even if you're angered and rage, you could have just focused all of that onto, like, oh yeah, make a destruction path to the capital, and then just destroy the capital, 100%. The castle, destroy that, obliterate that. But everything else can stay the way it is. You don't have to fucking touch that, you don't have to destroy it. And it's one. The war is one. It was one when they rung the bell, but then she wanted to continue to destroy it, and I was like, once the castle is burned and the capital is destroyed, you're 100% won. So, yeah, I don't blame you. I was like, your best friend who you bought as a slave and as an interpreter when you got the slave soldiers, which I do not remember the name. The Solid? I think I'm saying that right. Solid? The Solid, I think they're cool. They're awesome. Okay, we're staring at a mirror talking to ourselves. It's weird. It's a weird combination, because I kind of see my phone and my reflection in my phone, and then I see myself in the mirror. It's very confusing. Okay, we're done. Okay, maybe this will work. The lighting is horrible. Okay, I don't care anymore. I don't want to care. Okay, we did that crap, blah, blah, blah. But yeah. So, I wasn't really happy with the ending, but otherwise I was like, it's cool and everything, and I was like, you murdered. And I was really happy with the ending, though. And I only really watched it because the title was talking about how Worm became king, and I was like, it's very misleading. It wasn't obviously the exact title, but that's what I read and what I thought people said, and I was like, what? Worm is becoming king? What is this? I said, how did Worm become king? He didn't. He just he decided to fill the wish that the slave girl, the queen's best friend, her right hand, her maidservant, her interpreter, who became her best friend and everything like that, stayed with her all this time, was murdered and butchered and beheaded before her. That's so sad. So I was like, of course you went mad and killed you all. But, like, you should have been after that. And I was like, and they were like, oh, but she didn't break the wheel. She was talking about how she's going to break the wheel of the cycle. It's like, of all the tyrants and everything. I was like, no, she did. She offered surrender. No one else offered surrender. There was no option to surrender. There was never options of surrender. There was no surrender. There was none of that crap in any of your wars before this. There was none of this crap. There was none. And she had a council, and she was listening, and she took input, and she was the best ruler that they had. Well, they didn't really get to keep her, because they killed her. But I was just mad, because I was like, yeah, she did something bad, but so did your other rulers, and that's what, like, you're like, even in war, that was bad. But I was like, no one is good in war. And you did far worse in war. Jon Snow, you did far worse in war. Do you understand? I'm pretty sure he also... Didn't he, like, kill his commander? And took over? Or did his commander just die, and that's how he got in charge? Because he was a bastard, so he sent to the north. And he was fighting, and then he became the king of the north. And I was like, you did not become the king of the north overnight. You had to listen to a lot of people, and I was like, I'm pretty sure you killed one of them. And you were not happy about that arrangement, okay? So, I was like, she was the best overall. She almost only 100% killed bad people. I was like, where were these innocent people? I was like, Jon Snow and others, I was like, you all fucked up. Way worse than her. So much. And then, I don't know. I don't think it's Ash or Ashley. Something with A. She just go around, her conversation with her sister was she was training. I was like, no. You should have told her that you were assassinating everyone that murdered and threatened your family. I was like, that's what she was doing. She trained to become an assassin. And she did. She became the master of disguise. She met the god of death. She did everything. She killed. She joined in the war. In the north and everything. And fucking killed the Ice King. The blue-eyed zombie monster. I was like, him and the difference between a zombie. I was like, no, they're the zombies. Walking Dead. And the Game of Thrones. Just just in that season, you know, in that part. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, no. I was like, they did good, and I really liked the council and everything that they set up, because I was like, they didn't just break the wheel, like, they just burned it and obliterated it completely and restarted the system. That's what they did. And at the end, I was like, no, she broke it, so you could obliterate it and burn it. But I was like, you could have given her a chance. Like, she was phenomenal, and she would have been an amazing leader. And, like, she was a tyrant. She'd gone mad. I was like, at the beginning, I was like, all because she didn't accept the surrender. And I was like, no one can blame her for not accepting the surrender. Because they fucking killed her dragon, they killed her friend, and they brought it upon themselves. You're like, well, the innocent people, I know, that's why we just burned the Capitol. Just make it an example. But then I was like, if she truly wanted to make an example, then I was like, yeah. But if her goal was to really make an example, being like, this is what happens when you defy me, then we completely betray it. And I only have this opinion because I was like, I went and rewatched Overlord again, and he did what to the entire country? He burned it. He killed every single fucking citizen. There was no survivors. Except for this itty-bitty town of adventurers. They were the only living ones in the entire kingdom. He killed them all. To set an example to all the other countries. Be like, this is what happens when you attack me, this is when you defy me. And I was like, if she was doing that, then damn. She did an amazing job. She had done so much worse, so that was her goal, you know. But she was, like, totally willing, and she's like, yeah, we'll totally stop, and everything like that. But I was like, there are unforeseen circumstances called they brought upon themselves, and they obliterated and brutally murdered her best friend and her children and her dragons and everything in front of her. They do not deserve forgiveness, and they do deserve death. And literally, especially, like, I was like, the castle, the capital and the castle 100% need to be burned and destroyed like that. Because they tried to take her down as a tyrant and everything. They had that court session. They brought her there, and she burned them all alive. She blew them up so she could stay as queen. When they're like, she's a tyrant, we're killing you now. You are sentenced to death. We're judging you. And she killed them all. So, yeah, and no matter what, like, and she'd been thrown in jail tons of time before and suffered and tortured and all that crap before. She was never going to learn her lesson. She had to die. She had to be killed. Only way. It's the only thing that was going to happen was her death. So, that was going to have to happen no matter what. And then she got pissed at the end, and Jon Snow murdered her, so he was then actually banished to the north. And he was going to actually stay banished in the north. And it wasn't going to be a death sentence. It was just going to be like a prison. You just live there for your entire life. In complete isolation with... You can make your own shelter and food, and you can hunt, and you probably won't freeze to death because you grew up in the north, so you'll live, but complete isolation away from people, and that's the point. Owen wasn't really happy with the results, but he's like, wine, whatever, but he fulfilled the queen's best friend's wish, because all she wanted to do was, when they won, she wanted to go and visit her homeland that she was kidnapped from. It was so sad. So sad. And so... Orm took the lead to go and live on that island and see it, and I was like, that's beautiful. And they were in love, so. Orm was in love with the queen's best friend. I don't care what you say. I know I don't know all the details of Duke Fight all I want, but this is my opinion, and I want to share it, because I was like, this keeps going through my mind, and I was like, she was not wrong. I don't, they're all like, she's a tyrant, and I was like, she's not evil. And she didn't go mad. She did go mad, but like, not like her father, and she wasn't an evil tyrant, and she wasn't all this crap they made her out to be. I was like, no. They earned their death over and over, and they're not like, oh, you did a really bad thing, so you deserve death, so they would actually judge you and execute for it. No, earned it over and over every single time. Yeah. And Jon Snow, you are trash. Absolute trash for killing her. She helped you in a war that no one else helped you in. She fucking saved your life and lost one for dragons and had it turned into an ice zombie and try and fucking kill her. And she got tons of her soldiers murdered because she joined your cause and she decided to help you. Not happy. Not fucking happy. And then even afterwards, they're like, we're okay with it, but we still don't recognize you as queen. And I'm like, the fuck? She saved everyone's life. And you don't respect her as queen. I thought that was BS. Okay. Yeah, I did watch the clips, but I don't care to watch the real thing. But I still have a rant, and crap, I'm talking trash, but oh, Hunger Games is a different conversation. I don't think I've talked about that. Okay, wait, no, it's Hunger Games, and we're talking about Game of Thrones. Did I read it? Confusion. I think in my notes I actually had down Hunger Games and not Game of Thrones, and I think I just talked about Game of Thrones. I was like, they're the same thing. No, you're not. One was TV show clips that you obsessively watched and randomly just because you mostly just watched all the clips and all the videos that they had compilations of the Queen of Dragons and the Assassin Little Sister. It's like, I watched your journey where you slaughtered everyone, and I saw dragons grow up, and you make an army and destroy cities. It was beautiful. Okay. I became the Queen of Slaves. It was beautiful. Okay, and then I didn't watch anything else because it was trash. So, that was what I said. I am very biased, even though I didn't really watch it. Okay, yeah, I gotta go figure that out. That should be everything. Bye.